What is going on? I am Anon Moose. We are here on the HQ18 account. It is War Factory Day. Now, I gotta say, views on War Factory are way down. Views on Warships are way up. But you know what? This is a labor of love, so the show must go on. As always, if this is entertaining or amusing or educational or you have nothing better to do, please do consider throwing zmoT into your creator code. Not only does it make me feel warm and fuzzy, but it also gives back to the channel, helps support things, helps keep the show going, getting things better, cleaner, faster, stronger, all that good stuff. Now that the shenanigans are out of the way, the rambling, let's get into War Factory, see what we've got. Now, this one is fairly straightforward-ish. What we're going to do is we're going to use Everspark because she makes everything better. We're going to get rid of these 4 rockets, maybe even get rid of this rocket. That will simplify things. I mean, we could just hit the core. This would be a solo that you should be able to take down, but do make sure you stick around. We will be using 16 incinerators, and I haven't done it yet, but spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to go terribly well. What I'm going to do is we're going to mark that rocket launcher. We're going to drop Everspark underneath here. If you don't know what marking is yet, shame on you. Just kidding. Please do let me know. Would love to let you know. It is incredibly useful and important, and it will make your attacks better. If you're not marking things, you're doing something wrong. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to get rid of that rocket launcher. We're also going to get rid of a second rocket launcher using our... We didn't get the double hack, though. But you know what? Does not matter. As long as you try for the double hack, it really doesn't matter if you get it or not, because we're still alive. We're still kicking. We're going to throw that smoke. We're going to hit the double hack. Did not get it again. I cannot remember the last time that happened. So what... Now, you'll notice I am closest to this rocket launcher. We're probably not going to get the double hack, though. It goes, we hit the button again, and we actually barely managed to get the double hack out. So, just a reminder, double hacks go much faster if you actually use a flare. Don't ask me why that is. It's just something that I managed to prove. Using a flare makes your second hack come out faster. So notice she kind of paused there for a second. Regardless, we're in pretty good shape. We got rid of 4 rockets on one go. If you have less GBE, then it might take you 2 attacks, but we're in pretty good straits right now. Pretty good situation. Let's keep pushing on forwards. Now, these flamethrowers we're probably going to want to get rid of just to clear up a little spot. That way we can shock machine gun, doom cannon all together, and then we'll shock machine gun and this stuff together. And then maybe we'll get rid of these mortars as well. But for right now, I do want to get rid... You know what? I don't think we need to get rid of that rocket back there. Getting rid of this rocket back here is not going to do a heck of a lot of good for us. So what we're going to do next is I'm just going to get rid of these flamethrowers, and that's step number 1. So I'm going to throw the same thing, artillery, onto these flamethrowers, and then we're going to drop Miss Everspark right underneath smoke. I totally misjudged where the heck the shore was. Hit the hack button. If you don't like what she selects, use a flare. It's that simple. And then what we're going to do is, I think we're going to be right at the edge, not even close to the edge, lots of room left. So now that we've marked the flamethrower, hopefully we can actually pull off a double hack here. The smoke is just getting here so fast. The faster the smoke gets to your troop, the faster things blow up, which is sometimes useful and sometimes not. Obviously, we want to keep Everspark alive, but we want to double hack, because double hacking is just better. Uh-oh, we're going to flare there. There we go. So, when Everspark gets hit by a shock blaster, she starts to walk towards her target, and bad things happen. So, be very aware of that. It sucks. It's a bug. It's been around forever. I mean, you could argue it's a feature, but if it's a feature, it's a terrible feature. So I am under the assumption that Supercell would not put ridiculous features into the game. So at this point, we are pretty darn good. I mean, we've got rid of the flamethrowers, we got rid of the mortars. Now, I likely did a dum-dum there. We're going to double check here in a moment. Let's have a quick peek and see what we're looking at as far as health goes. I kind of assume I did a dumb. Can we see health on flamethrowers. Any other flamethrowers? I don't think they were that level, but let's have a look here. So these puppies back here have 33,000 health. You want to make sure you artillery or barrage whichever has less health. The flamethrowers there or the mortars here. I probably picked the wrong defenses, but we're okay with that. At this point, if you're wondering why the heck I'm retreating so much, the whole goal here is to lose as few troops as possible for people who don't have instant training. By all means, use your troops, get some bombardiers in there, get some grenadiers in there, farm all sorts of gunboat energy over on this right-hand side. For us, though, we're trying to take this down as easily and simply as possible. We've got 3 hits, so I'm going to get rid of that last mortar right there. Realistically, I probably really should have kept Everspark in here. I'd like to get rid of this machine gun because it's not in a super awesome spot. But sometimes I do dumb things, and this is one of them. So I switched for a core hit, and then right in the middle of that decided, no, we're going to do one more clearing hit. It did not work out perfectly well, but the fact that we managed to get rid of this machine gun means we're in pretty good straits. Now, I keep saying straits, not in good straits. That makes no sense at all. So now, getting rid of those flamethrowers up there, I'm realizing is not super smart. We should have gone down here instead, and this is a far better spot to hit the core from. So that is where we're going to go from, right below that machine gun right there. Let's just quickly see how many shocks that's going to put us at, because going where those flamethrowers were doesn't make any sense. So it's early morning. My kids are back to school today. Life is somewhat back to normal. So probably should have hacked that rocket launcher because it is going to range. The other ones are not. So going underneath this machine gun means I'm going to have 1 shock on machine gun and stuff, 1 shock here, and then otherwise it's like there's nothing in range. Like this hot pot doesn't range, the flotsams don't range, the doom cannon. See, like I was planning to go there, and there's doom cannons and flotsams and machine guns and rocket launchers, so not smart. Sometimes I am smart, other times not so much. So let's have a look at the health. 455,000. We have 2 core hits to take this down. I have no doubts that it's going to go down whatsoever. Now, we don't really need to smoke the shore because all of our troops are going to start alternating. Those boom cannons can't pick a target. And then we're going to go right to the backside of that defensive building health statue. Just trying to get into position, getting ready, get all of our troops firing in the right direction. We're going to use 3 shocks because why not? Now, I like to throw my, what are those things called? I like to throw my flare towards the headquarter as late as possible. I find that that gives my troops a little bit more coverage, and as a result, we make things go boom. So, don't follow exactly what I did. Do as I said, not as I did. This core hit from down by the defensive building health statue far better than where I had initially planned. So sometimes you got to change your plans. And I am still sipping on my morning coffee. So we are going to come back with 16 incinerators, and it's going to be a massacre. And I think it's going to go terribly. So do stick around and see. I'll be back in about 8.5 seconds. Okay, so here goes nothing. This is going to cost me a lot of gold, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of gold, so this is going to be a massive problem, and I don't think it's going to go terribly well. Now, if this goes poorly, I will switch to a 3rd max level account, I guess 3rd account, 2nd maxed, and we'll see how things go, because I do not have a lot of faith that these things are going to do anything good for us. I don't have enough gold to drop them. My operation reward is sitting there, but I was really hoping to use that to get my mechs going, hoping to get my mechs up to level... What? That doesn't make sense. I think that is a bug. I don't think I have level 1 mechs, but maybe? That doesn't, but at the same time, I have been upgrading other things. Maybe I'm mixing up my accounts. Maxed my artillery, maxed my barrage. Those were high on my list because extra damage on the artillery and the barrage is huge. Now, I don't even know what troop to use. I probably should use Kavan simply because he's going to get some single shot stuff for all of this, but you know what, we're going to use Everspark. I want to use Everspark so that I get some critters, which are going to hopefully keep those things. We're going to use whatever. We're going to use Kavan. It's going to be awful, but maybe we can bring an Incinerator back. These things are going to use a ton of GBE. I don't have high hopes. This is going... Look how many boom cannons and doom cannons there are. Almost wish there were a couple grapplers, but sadly, no grapplers to be had. Now, as you can see, it costs 20 GBE just to unload one boat of these things. So bad things are happening. These things have... I don't have troop health on this account, so these things are not going to last terribly long. But you know what? How often do you get to see 16 incinerators rushing War Factory? This is the first time in history. History, folks. We are making all of the histories. Let's shock those boom cannons. There we go. We are finally at 16 of these things. Need to keep some critters so those doom cannons are not blowing them up. We had one blow up. Now we're going to get a ghost pink zombie incinerator, which is fairly awesome as well. Got to get back to 16 of these things. Now, I did not show them exploding on my video earlier in the week. My apologies, but hopefully you're going to see lots and lots of them explode. Free fireworks shows. When they explode in amazing, dramatic fashion. There are fireworks everywhere. We've got pink zombie incinerators coming in. Now, they're all going to explode very, very soon because we are getting into those doom cannons, and it is not a good idea to send incinerators against doom cannons whatsoever. But we've gotten kind of close. I should not be using my gunboat energy on those rocket launchers, but it was almost dead. Look at the explosions. It's amazing. All of my gold up in flames. Now, I had a request, and that request was, please do save the core. I have not done save the core in forever, so look how much gold these things cost. 1.1 million gold to load. So rather than lying naked in my living room floor with my whole family's gone today. My wife is teacher, back to work. My kids are back to school. I have the house to myself for the first time basically since March. That is why I made the naked in my living room comment. That was kind of awkward and uncomfortable. Sorry about that. Nonetheless, we're going to, instead of lying around by myself, we are going to get some incinerators in on the War Factory. 16 of them is going to be an issue. Obviously, we can't get them all out here because we don't have enough gunboat energy. I considered boosting, but I don't know that boosting statues just for the War Factory. I don't have the powder to do that for starters. So I am very, very powder poor. I was talking to someone yesterday who knows who he is, who has 5,500 powder. I have never been one to store things. I spend, and as a result, I have basically zero powder. So we're going to try to do a save the core on this War Factory. I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're going to run out of gold before we do that, and we're going to do our best to get all of this stuff down, but I just don't feel like it's going to happen. So the problem with incinerators is they cost so much gold, and as a result, not only gold, but GBE, so we can't even get rid of stuff. So at this point, the burning is over. We need to retreat because we still have troops left over. It's kind of silly in the fact that it makes you actually click the retreat button. We actually saved 400,000 gold by not being able to deploy all of our troops. Let's go right in here. Ugh, this is going to be just a massacre of the worst kind. We are going to shock all of this stuff right about now. At least we can shock some things. That is step number one. Now we're just going to build up some gunboat energy, hoping to keep as many of those defenses shocked as possible. We already used 16 of the incinerator dudes, so at this point, the shock is gone. We're just going to try to save some gunboat energy to shock a few buildings so that we can keep moving forward into all of this stuff. Now, if you've never used scorchers or incinerators, just be aware if you're trying to get rid of a specific target, it can be incredibly frustrating. So do flare the stuff you want gone. Otherwise, you're going to just sit there in sheer frustration. Now, these Oh man, this is just absolutely terrible. I do not recommend that anyone does this unless you're looking to make funny, because this is not a good way to use your troops or your gold. We're gonna have to retreat. But we managed to get, there's no doom cannons left. That is a huge, huge plus. So there is a slim chance that we can take down all of the stuff. It's just not. I'm going to barrage this because we have max level barrage for a reason, and it is far enough away that I just want to get it gone. That is goal number 1. Boom, shaka, laka, as they say. And now let's get rid of some boxes. Need to get a shock out as soon as that hot pot pops up, but not a second before. There we go. Now we are clearing into stuff. We are making progress. All of the buildings are blowing up. The problem here is that we need to move back over here away from the core, because if we're by that core, things are not going to go super duper well, because if we're trying to save the core, you have to save some GBE to save the core, I suppose is the best way to put it. Moving all of our troops along. I feel like I meant to throw a critter and I threw a flare. We got 2 flares in there. So now our critters are out front. We are clearing towards the core. I think gold is going to be a problem here. I think that is going to be our limiting factor, because I don't know that we're going to be able to get enough gold after this attack, and there's still quite a few boom cannons and single shot defenses that are going to do bad stuff to all of our troops. We also need to stay the heck away from the core, which is another problem in itself. So with Save the Core, if you do too much damage to the core as you're trying to remove buildings around it, it does not work out. Oh, you can hear my family getting ready to leave. I'm rushing to get this done because everyone's got to leave in the next few minutes, including me. Got to walk kids to school. So Incinerator's not the fastest troop. That is for darned certain. Trying to keep all of our troops away from the core. I gotta say, we have done pretty darn well in saving the core with Incinerators. This is going to be the last of my accounts. I said we might switch to a different account afterwards. Do not have time. We are going to have to get this done. 16 Incinerators, saving the core, wasting all of the gold. We are so close to being out of gold. This is a terrible idea. Do not do this. Do not copy this. Bad idea. So next up, we're going to come over here, just trying to save that core, trying to get rid of all of the defenses that are on this core. If you have never done Save the Core, I highly recommend you give it a shot. It's a great learning exercise. It is great fun. I did it against Cosmic Duo. I did it against the Chicken, and who else was involved? All sorts of people. So, who else? I think I did it against OP Destroy. Basically, I have done Save the Core against all of the YouTubers who were interested, and so good fun, and I think I won every match. We did a race, Save the Core, but to do a proper Save the Core, you have to do a victory lap around the core. That is absolutely crucial. So we are going to save as much gunboat energy as we can, see if we can't do a proper Save the Core, complete with victory lap. It looks like we possibly can. Let's get that victory lap started so that we can call this video done. I can get on with the day. Also, you need to clear every single building, every single mine. That in itself right there is a complete circumnavigation of the core. We have saved the core. Look at this, 16 Incinerators versus the War Factory in the most ridiculous way possible. 4 million gold spent. That was ridiculous and silly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully the low levels got some education as far as ways to take this down. If you are XP 37 or higher, I have absolute faith that you can take this down. Anyways, I am zmoT. That was ridiculous. Do consider liking, subscribing, commenting, all that fun stuff. Anyways, keep booming those beaches. I shall talk to you soon. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT. Peace.